Was cooking good looking? Hi, I'm Finn, and I'm not normal. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today is more of a discussion topic. For a bit of context, the other day I was playing Destiny with my friends, and while we were in the middle of a raid, we all started reminiscing about the good times we've all had playing Destiny. And that got me thinking, the game has changed so much since I started playing. So I asked the question, is Destiny worth your time and money? Destiny is a game made by Bungie Studios. Yes, the same Bungie that pulled out our hearts over Halo Reach. The game is a sci-fi looter shooter in which your character is a guardian, defender of the last city on Earth, from all sorts of weird space magic shit. If you require any further explanation on the simplicity of Destiny, you can watch my previous video where I gave more of an insight on character classes, the tiers of loot, and some of my favourite exotics. Destiny's S-tier weaponry. Destiny has had a rocky path, to say the least, but with the release of the Witch Queen expansion in February of this year, the game feels like it's in a good state. For now. Don't get me wrong, the game has a long way to go before it's anywhere near great, but this year seems to be heading into the right direction. A common meme between Destiny players is the phrase, "I hate this game, it's my favourite." And I really get that when I play, because no matter how much tedious grinding you get into, or no matter how badly fucked you get in the Crucible, Destiny always finds a way back into your life. By far the biggest reason for new players to feel overwhelmed when starting Destiny is the lack of a narrative direction. You see, aside from the paid DLCs, this game is free, which basically acts like a trial. Whereas before, when I started the game, we had a full-on story campaign, albeit not a very good one. Yeah, enough said. But at least when playing the game, you felt aware of the mechanics, and it taught you how everything works, even down to the nitty-gritty, like how to equip shaders on your armour, which I will discuss when I mention customization later. Now for the summary of the New Light experience. Whereas before you would be thrown into the story and have numerous missions to adapt, now you have 3 little missions in the starting area, 1 strike, and then the game proceeds to fist the poor new player by pushing them out into the big scary world with no guide on what to do. It's as if Bungie didn't want their game to attract new players by overwhelming the poor sods. And so much information gets shared. Like, New Light isn't going to know how to make a build with specific mods, weapons and armour. Now I've presented you with an example. This is where I come in and do the good Lord Cacus's work, and try to convince you, the viewer, to give this game a go. Because, as a long-time fan of the series, I feel as if everyone should at least give it a go once. And who knows, maybe you'll end up enjoying it more than you think. Now I'm going to start this video from the perspective of someone who's just finished the New Light story, and is now staring at the world map with a face like that one bitch from The Ring. The first thing you'll want to do is take notice of the 3 symbols at the top of the screen. These are the game's 3 ritual activities, which means you'll be spending most of your time in there. For a little context, in Destiny you have a power level, which is a culmination of your power of your weapons and armour. To get a higher power level, you play activities and get higher loot. If you play Borderlands, then you understand how this works. Going from left to right, first up is Vanguard Strikes, which is best described as a small-scale mission with basic mechanics and encounters. Every strike has a boss at the end, and what I like about some strikes is that the mechanics learnt throughout the activity help you defeat the boss at the end. Now, not all strikes are like this, which has been an issue for a while. Most of the time you'll be sitting in one spot damaging the boss, and then killing enemies until the next damage phase. This is a stale process, which is being slowly rectified throughout all the other activities with the release of the Witch Queen. But of course, if you wanted that content, you'd have to fork out some hard-earned dolans. The second ritual activity is everyone's favourite, Gambit, a hybrid of PvP and PvE, which in 2 teams of 4 drop into a map and go full Doom Guy on some enemies. Once all the enemies are dead, you'll notice they drop these weird little white pyramids. These are moats. Banking 100 moats at your team's bank in the middle of the map not only helps you summon your boss to win the game, but also sends an enemy over to the opposing team's bank, locking it up and preventing them banking until the enemy is dead. Now I bet you're thinking something along the lines of,
"Wow, this sounds awesome. Why doesn't anyone like this?"
Well, you poor naive bastard. I've left out the best detail for last. The fact that enemies can use a portal to invade your map, and if they kill you, you lose all the moats you were carrying, and if they kill you when the boss is up, your death heals the boss, pushing your progress back and further delaying your team's victory. So yes, very annoying. Very Luckily though, you only have to play a maximum of 3 games per week to get a powerful reward, so that's a plus. The third and final ritual is something that has forever divided the Destiny community. Some ponder how good Destiny would be without this mode, giving the devs more time to work on the PvE side of the game. As for others, this mode is their life. They spend every waking moment inside, morphing into the ultimate being, a Mega Sweat. I'm of course talking about Destiny's PvP mode, the Crucible. With a variety of different modes, some fun, like Team Scorched, where your loadouts don't matter. Every player is equipped with a big fire cannon to jump around and try and score higher than the enemy team. Some aren't so fun, like the hardcore competitive modes that come around every weekend. Now you've got a grasp of some of the fun activities, and before I discuss what at least for me is the best part of Destiny, I want to talk about character customization. In Destiny, there's some fugly armour, and sometimes that fugly armour has good stats on it. Luckily for you, my dear viewer, armoured transmog exists, which means any armour you like can be turned into an overlay so you can design your Guardian the way you want. This leads to some brilliant customisations, such as this Patrick Star Titan, and my personal favourite, a Warlock designed to look like Yoda. The one activity that makes Destiny one of my favourite games, and the reason I hold this game so dear in my heart, is raids. Raids are a 6-player activity and usually release along major expansions. You and your team enter these massive environments to complete puzzles, parkour and defeat various bosses. Though I've made these sound simple, do not be confident going into these, because not only do you have to rely on 5 other apes to do their respective roles within the encounter, you must also realise committing to a raid is a major time investment. The devs specify that raids take around 45 to an hour, and believe me, whilst getting content to this video, it took way longer. The shit I do to get content. It's fucking 2 in the morning. And I know what you're thinking, these sound amazing, but I don't want to splash my money on this game just for one activity. But don't fret, my young viewer, for there are currently 2 whole raids available right now for the lovely price of £0.00, which is brilliant because I'd argue the 2 free ones are 2 of the best raids in Destiny's history. First is Last Wish, which sees you and your fire team storm a castle and slay a massive space dragon, or whatever the fuck this is. Seriously, what were these design team thinking when they came up with this shit? Anyway, I digress. The second is the Vault of Glass, which is a reprisal raid of the first one ever released in the original Destiny game. I know I haven't really sold you on the raids just yet, but I seriously cannot put into words how brilliant they are. I say this with such confidence because if I didn't persevere to find people to run a raid with, I wouldn't have the friends I have now. I mentioned in a previous video, I used to play Destiny as a solo player, and it was boring and lonely, and it was just not a fun experience. If I'd never made a post and got the response I did, then I don't think I'd still be playing the damn game. Seriously, don't ever be afraid to make posts if you need a team to run activities, or even if you just want to hang out in the tower having a dance party. Now to end the video, I brought my closest online friend, someone who eats, drinks and sleeps Destiny. Because at this point, if I haven't sold you on the game, then firstly, I don't know what's wrong with you. But secondly, I thought getting a second opinion would be more beneficial to making my case. So here is Camden, also known as Speedy McWheely.
When did you start playing Destiny and why?
I started playing Destiny back during 2014 because I'm on the Spectrum. But,
What do you mean you're on the Spectrum?
yeah, honestly though, the main reason was probably due to the fact that it was because I had prior experiences with other loot and shoot games, specifically Borderlands 2 is what kind of got me in the genre.
Yeah.
And since I'd already had my fill of Borderlands 2 during that time, and this was a new title, I wanted to see what it was all about.
Okay, next question. The phrase, I hate this game, it's my favourite. Do you believe you can relate this to Destiny?
Yeah, mostly because I still question sometimes why I still play it when there's like major either content droughts, problems with the game, or just outright, or you'll finally, go through all that, trial and effort trying to get something and either doesn't drop or it does and it's not all that good as much as you expected it to be. Things like that.
So, with the release of Shadowkeep, we saw the new light, quote-unquote, experience. What did you think of that implementation, and what do you believe that the devs could do to make it a lot better, a lot more, like, catering to new players? Because I see a lot of new players... They already fleshed it out. I see a lot of... that's all right. I see a lot of new players kind of turn away from the game because they feel a bit overwhelmed after completing the tutorial. And some of the friends that I have introduced to the game have felt the exact same way. So I was wondering if you could, like, give some insight on your thoughts into it.
Well, again, since I'm a veteran player, I can't fully understand or grasp what they may find difficult or challenging, except for the obvious things such as, not knowing where to begin or go after they've completed their introduction.
I think that's
But
really
as for,
the main issue is
yeah, probably a lack of, I guess.
direction.
Well, no, okay, maybe not so much a lack of not or knowing where to go, but more so like knowing where they should start first,
Yeah,
since there's probably a lot of stuff just all at once coming in at them for quests and things.
because
Bungie
obviously,
could either
like,
try and design the quest system around maybe like trying to prioritize certain quests to give people more an incentive of completing them first. Like maybe they could have a special icon or marker on certain quests that would be beneficial for players to get done and out of the way.
yeah,
They could try to make the community a little more engaged with it in some way, like giving an incentive to veteran players to teach them, like, oh, unique emblems, unique weapons, unique armor, just
Master Lock
rewards for
cores and
helping
mod
out new
loadouts.
players. Yeah. Yeah, just, an incentive, which I know some people might find that, oh, kind of cruel, like, oh, you have to have an incentive to help new players out. Like, I mean, this is Destiny we're talking about here. Almost nobody does something unless they're getting something out of it most of the time.
Well, thank you very much for letting me interview you, asking a few questions about the state of the game at the moment and getting your thoughts on it. Hopefully, we've helped out some new people that are contemplating whether or not to get the game. If you didn't know, Camden also has a YouTube channel called Speedy McWheelie, where he just posts random clips and montages.
Full
from his-
disclaimer, the content on that channel and what I've talked about in a very calm and collected tone were totally different. So, just putting that out there.
Yeah, you will get a culture shock.
You've
But
been
yeah,
warned.
anyway, thank you very much. Now, back to the video.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope myself and Camden can teach you a couple of things. As always, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and if you have any questions about the game or even want to reach out, the comment section is always open. I have another video releasing soon, so keep your grubby eyes peeled. As always, I've been Finn, I'm not normal, and please, stand by.